we have with him Cobden Delta State Chairman Evangelist Benjamin Evangelist Benok, who incidentally also is the DG for the candidates, the chairmanship candidate for Aniocha South. So, gentlemen, we'll be talking about the elections that happened in this state, the local government elections and the matters arising. How did it go? The way we are going to go this evening, we are going to give each guest about 10 minutes to tell us their experiences, what they saw, and how it went with the elections. Then after that, we'll have a general discourse of it. Then we'll general discourse and a total review of the elections. So I think we'll start from Delta State, Evangelist Benok. So let's start with your states, and you can unmute and tell us about the elections now.
Okay, I hope you hear me very well, everybody. I want to say good evening to you. Today has been a very good day in spite of these seasonal rains. Well, I welcome you to this town hall meeting. It is a very great one, and I want to say what we have come here to discuss today is very, very germane and important. And I also want to thank the DDM and COPDEM for giving us this platform to air our protests, kind of protests and grievances, and to tell the world exactly what is happening in Nigerian democracy at the state level, at the local level. Is a sham that as of today, Nigeria started its fourth democratic republic since 1999, and up to today, it seems as if we are not going to get it right. But we know that by the grace of God, we will get it right one day. Without that said,
Evangelist Benok, can't hear you any longer. Okay. I think Evangelist Benok is having network challenges. Do we have Prince Ferdinand in the house? Is Prince Ferdinand with us here? Okay, so while we are waiting for Evangelist Benok to get back, I think the network has even thrown him out. So let's hear from Honorable Anthony.
No, sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, please, sorry. It's not network. It's somebody who called me to complain that they are trying to join the town hall meeting, but it seems it's not working. So please, if there's anything or anybody at the waiting room to put them through, please do that. Because a lot of people are calling me now that they want to join, but they couldn't join. So please, let's see what we can do technical. So can I continue, sir?
Participants in the waiting room. There's somebody at
Can
the
I
waiting
continue?
room. Go ahead.
Okay. So like I said election took place in Delta State last Saturday, precisely on the Saturday, 13th of July. And before the election took place, a lot of campaign went on from the opposition and the mainstream political party, the PDP, the Labour Party, and other APC party and other parties that decided to participate in the election. And I could remember that the state governor also had been making pronouncements which gave assurance to the opposition party that the election will be free, fair, and peaceful. He also promised that there will not be, it is not going to be the same story as of before, where election results are written and announced without election holding. This gave credence to the preparation of the election, and also precisely on the 8th day of July, the Labour Party and some of the movement in Delta State held a protest march rally to the various organs, specifically the DSEC, the DSS, the police commissioner, and so on and so forth. And they also promised, especially the DSEC chairman, promised that this election will not be like the past ones. It's going to be a free, fair, and peaceful, transparent election. If I may quote him very well. On this background, people had hope. The opposition parties had hope, and they prepared very well, campaigned very well for this election. But unfortunately, my brothers and sisters, my comrades and fellow citizens of Nigeria, on the Saturday, 13th of July, it turned out that all their promises from the state governor down to the district chairman, they were all flukes. They were all lies. They were all deceptions. The election we saw was not an election. It was a sham. It was a disgrace. It was a show of shame to the Delta State government and to the DSEC, the umpire that conducted the election. Why do I say so? The election falls short of free and fair. The election falls short of all democratic norms and ideals that will make election to be free and fair. Let me give you an example from my area where I participated very well, which is Anyocha South, precisely was 16. All the voters went out very early in spite of the rain. As before 8 a.m., people have gathered at the polling center called Nwa-Eze Primary School, Ward 16, and all other polling centers. People trooped out because the opposition parties campaigned. And they waited, we waited there till around 12. It was almost, okay, let me say after 10 or before 10, we started seeing some DSEC officials that came. About 3 or 4 of them, they came and they set up the election places and the materials. So we waited for them and we started agitating when it was after 11 to 12. What is happening? Is the election not going to take place? I personally accosted them, interviewed them. They told me that they are still waiting for the sensitive materials. That what they came here with is just materials to take accreditations, and they are still waiting for their supervisor to bring the sensitive materials for them to start the election. And we waited. It got up to after 2 p.m. And I asked them again, because we had 2 security officers, 2 police officers there. And people wanted to start fighting, and because their patience was running out. And at the end of the day, at about after 2 to 3 thereabout, the so-called DSEC supervisor came back, a lady. And we thought she has brought the sensitive materials to start the election. The next thing we heard is that, she has come to close up the center because she couldn't get the sensitive materials and the election could not hold and cannot hold. We asked her why. She said, well, the answer she cannot give and is beyond her, that we should go to the DSEC LGA office to go and find out why. And immediately she asked the other three DSEC officers with her to sign some papers for them to leave. It was then the agitated voters had wanted to mob them or kind of start fighting them, but due to the intervention of myself and the two police officers there, we were able to sneak that lady and those guys out to leave there before they could harm them. So precisely after that, we heard that other centers, polling centers in my area there, the same story went through, that there was no election. There was no sensitive material brought, and the election did not hold. But at the end of the day, we start hearing results. To the surprise of myself and everybody hearing me today, is that they went ahead to declare a result purporting that Labour Party in my ward had 86 votes. PDP candidate councillorship had 2,994 votes in my center or my ward. DSEC was 16. Then the other ward, because INEC ward, we call them Ward 2A and Ward 2B. So that is Ward 2B. Then the Ward 2A, which formed the INEC Ward 2 in Anocha South, they declared a result that Labour Party had 70 votes, PDP had 3,154 votes. At the end of the day, I start to ask myself, do we know what we are doing? Do we know the implication? These people that are fabricating these things, do they know what they are doing? I don't think they know what they are doing, because when we impose leaders on the people, I don't think you are doing the right thing. Because we're in a democratic system. If we say we're in democracy and you are still imposing and selecting people to lead people, I don't think it will augur well. And my people have said it that they are not going to take it like that, because they never elected. There was no election, and they never elected, and they never participated in any form of election that brought those guys, those councillors and chairmen out. So please, we are also using this opportunity to plead and call on the authorities that organize this election, that are issuing these results, that are making these flukes and shameful outing for Delta State, to rethink and take a look at what they have been saying. They have conducted free, fair election, peaceful election in Delta State. Maybe rethink it and investigate these matters, because the same story you hear in Anocha South, the same story we have heard from other local governments where the opposition parties contested election with PDP. I want to rest my case here while I allow others to talk, so that at the end of the day, we take a decision. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Evangelist Bernard, for that insight. So what you have just told us here this evening now is that elections did not hold in Anocha South local governments. Sensitive materials were not brought, were not received.
Precisely.
I don't know if Prince Ferdinand is with us in the house now. Prince Ferdinand, are you with us? Prince Ferdinand, the LP chairmanship candidate for Anocha South, is he in the house? Okay, I'm not sure. So, Honorable Anthony, what was the case in Adamawa State?
Okay, firstly, in Adamawa State, we're expecting from the start, from the formation of the ADSEC board, because the constitution says that no political party holder should be part of the setup of the ADSEC board itself. That's the board of the ADSEC. But what the governor did was that his immediate past chairman, those who, like, let me say, those who just left the office before the 3-month caretaker committee are those being assigned. They have the highest percentage of the board members and the chairman. That's the past local government chairman that just left office holders and his party members, which first and foremost, the constitution says that party holders should not be among the board members of Adamawa State Independent Electoral Commission. So that's one of the first mistakes. That's from there. But along the line, they promised a free and fair election as usual in the state. So we key into it, the Labour Party, that we are going to participate in the election and we are going to win. So on the process, the APC, one of the major opposition parties, says that they will not participate in the election because the election is being rushed and itself, the board members should not be party members of the PDP, which is the ruling party in the state. So they went to court. Presently, I think they are in court. So the Labour Party doesn't want to say that they won't participate in the election. Because even the judiciary, I think the state Labour Party doesn't have the right confidence that after the election, that justice will be met, and we want the name of the party to still go around and still go viral and still be fresh in people's mind, even against the next election, that we need to preach Labour Party again using this election, because our people have more faith in Labour Party now than other parties. So along the line, we follow due process, everything. We're expecting 90 days for election, and I don't know, they say they are going to use 60 days. But from 28th May, we only use June for the campaign process, and on the 13th July election, which is not even up to the 60 days that they were proposing. They need to give us a lot of time. So at the process of everything, the election screening itself by the ICE have to take place 1 week to the election before you'll be cleared in the name of, like, it was even on Monday that this final list was out for you to know that you are participating in the election or not. And Saturday was the election. So from the process of the foundation of the election is faulty. We have been seeing the red flags. It's crystal clear that these people doesn't mean what they say. Election under the state government will always be business as usual. Nevertheless, we hit the ground running. We have been doing our assignment, going to the villages, grannies, everywhere as a young person, because our tickets are full of young people. Even me, if you can see from my pictures on the flyer, I'm a young person. I'm a young guy. So I've been into politics for long. I switched to Labour Party when I was appointed as, I was part of the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council. So after picking the Muslim ticket, I have to resign. So as a young person in my state, I am exposed to politics. So I hit the ground running. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you hear me? I want to take you somewhere.
I'd like to know more of what happened on the election proper. We'd like to have insights to elections.
Yes, no problem. I'm getting there now. So we hit the ground. Election day is here. So what happened on the election day is that sensitive material was shared, even though Prince Pascal, the state coordinator. Can you get me? Can you hear me?
He's interrupting the meeting now.
Prince Pascal, was there at the collection center with us. Initially, due to our local terrains, we have 16 wards in our local government, which is the highest wards in the whole of Adamawa State. That's 16 wards. That's one of the biggest local government. So we have wards that are on mountainous area, that for you to reach the place itself, it needs serious assignment. So election materials are supposed to be distributed in the night or a day before the election, because that's how INEC used to do. And the security will go there so that in the following day, the material will reach there before, so the election can start early. But what happened there was that election materials refused to be shared in the night. They escaped and left us there to guide even the materials. The securities were so relaxed. So on the fateful morning, electoral materials start disbursing. In some polling units, election materials are there but no result sheets. In some polling units, the box even didn't get ready. Most especially the mountainous areas, the securities are working hand in hand with the people in government to control the whole election. And to make it worse is that we have the video evidence. We have been sharing in the groups. Like even me, I have the one, I recorded myself. It is just full of ballot paper thumb printing, massive thumb printing. An individual will pick a bunch, which is 50 pieces of vote, and thumb print it to a single party. They will take that ballot paper thumb print. They will just, no beavers, nothing for accreditation. They only have a piece of paper. They will use that piece of paper and be ticking it good, so that it will tally. Some didn't even tally. Some just write down the result sheet. In some polling units like in Zabadari, they brought the election boxes filled up. A filled election box was brought to the polling unit so that it will be counted there. And what they did is that where there is a government official will cast his vote, they took a fine election box there. Wherever, let me say, a senator or a House of Reps to catch the media attention, they took fine boxes there, because we use leather box. The ARSEC use leather box, but if there's a government official, the media house will be there to snap or take pictures. Then they will use a fine box for that location. A fine box will be dropped, an election like a normal good election for the media to be fed with it. But what is happening behind the media, it is something different. Like now, our local government, I'm telling you, it is full of 7 wards beyond mountain terrain. It will take you hours to get there. Election material left the police station in the morning. Even as of 9 p.m., the ward collection center didn't have election materials. It was dispatched past 9 and 10. Some ward collection center didn't see materials. So material was dispatched to the villages late, but to our surprise, for materials to get to that village, it need to get like around 2 o'clock. But the election result was announced on that same day, around 7 p.m. That's even for the election material to go to some mountainous areas that are border with Cameroon and return it back to the local government, like to the local government collection center. In fact, it will take even the whole day if the material will be just be taking it today to the border and return it back. It will pass that 7 p.m. Talk more of conducting election on that same day. But they conducted election that same day, and by 7, the result was announced. So it is based on from where we are coming from in Adamawa State, like most especially Michika local government. It is a mountainous area, and we are in border with Cameroon and Borno State. So we have landmass, and aside landmass, most of the wards are behind big mountains. You don't go there easily. So they use that again to rob us of our mandate. We have been collecting election materials. In fact, if you just move a step from there, the security have been compromised. Every part of the election have been compromised. The result that the chairman, the acclaimed selected chairman won the election was with even the senator that won election from the senatorial zone doesn't have that election, doesn't have that scores. And it is the worst election with lower voters turnout. People don't even believe in the election anymore. So people didn't even come to the election. Where you will see real votes, you will see a registered polling unit with 700 voters, less than 40, 30 people turning out for election. But a result can come out, you see that there's 700, 600 votes in the polling unit, which is not possible because people don't believe in state independent electoral commission anymore. Any election be conducted by a state governor, people don't believe in it. So people refuse to even turn up for the election. But in that one local government election, against the 2023 election, Senator Abo won election in that senatorial exam before the court nullified it. He won that election with 68,000 votes. But the person that won in just one of the local government from our senatorial claimed that he won with 69, almost 70,000 votes just from the local government. So the election is not realistic. What we discussed, we used to see that senators used to use it to win across the senatorial zone. It is what a single local government chairman had it to himself that he won election with. You see, it is not even realistic. So we have just, the rigging was just massive. In fact, to an extent that we can't control it. When the youth want to protest, they get arrested and released after the election. Okay, if you want to protest, this is not how things are. The security are there to just speak you. The security are just dancing to their tune. So there was not election. In fact, the 21 local government in the state was declared PDP. 227 ward councillors declared PDP. So no room for opposition. In the whole of Adamawa State, no room, no single ward for the opposition and councillorship. No single local government for the opposition. So it is just a pre-planned. Sometimes is that this should stop. State governors are not to be trusted with this election anymore, any longer. We have tried our best for the party. We have tried our best to prove to the people. We have campaigned in a modern way. We have given our best, but the election process was poor. After conducting election and polling unit, they printed the result. They have the result sheet with them. They didn't even make use of our own results across many polling units. They didn't make use of it. I have the video. We won our polling units clearly for the parties. Other polling units, what we saw there is not what they gave out there. Even to the, let me say, the ballot paper, the copy they're supposed to give us. Do you know that they write down the result, but the pink copy, which is like, let me say, duplicates, the duplicates, you cannot even see clearly what is on the duplicate again. The duplicate we are receiving, is it like they made it locally, intentionally? I don't get it. So what we saw is not an election. We saw worst part of the election. That is what happened in Adamawa State. There's not an election. We lost confidence in them. Thank you very much.
Honorable Anthony, the case of Adamawa seems to be slightly different from Delta State. Delta State, there were no materials at all, no elections at all. Adamawa State, there were elections, there were materials, but the election was fraudulent. Results were not as it was. Then again, I want to ask both of you from both states, what is the party, the political party, doing about this development in this just concluded election? I would like Data to take it first, then Adamawa State. What is the political party itself? On which tickets you guys came out on this election? What are they doing? Haven't seen these experiences. Evangelist.
Okay. Thank you very much once again. I want to correct something you just said. The same thing Adamawa representative said is the same thing also that happened in Delta State. It is not only that sensitive material did not come. There are places where where they sent some sensitive materials, but what happened was that it could not go round. For example, you have a polling unit or a polling center where you have almost, let me say, 100 and something or 500 voters waiting, and you are sending maybe about one booklet of sensitive material because there is a known PDP official that is there, and that is only the place they will give that voting material to cast their vote. That is what happened, for example, in a center in Ubuluku, okay, Ward 5, INEC Ward 5, okay. They brought sensitive materials there, but it was inadequate, okay. It was inadequate, okay. So it couldn't go even a quarter of the people that gathered there, other polling units in the same voting center, polling center. So these things, they know what they did. And I'm very surprised also that it's the same PDP in Adamawa, the same PDP in Delta State. So they are masters of these things they are doing, okay? They are masters of them. They know what they are doing. What happens that most of the places they know that the opposition party are prepared, they are going to win them. They will not deliver material. Either they will shortchange the materials there, or they will be outright, like in my place. Like I always tell them, if they conduct any free and fair election in my place, Nanacha South, Ward 16 or Ward 2, if any other party apart from Labour Party wins there, then I will defect to PDP, okay? Because they know that these things they have lost. In fact, people don't believe them again. And in the past election, the national election that passed, they lost woefully. In most part of the Delta State, in the national election, the presidential and the National Assembly elections, Labour Party won Delta State. So these are the things they have seen, that they know that if we continue to allow these people, they will get ground, okay? So basically, let me answer your question that you have asked. The Labour Party in Delta State have given a state press conference. They have issued statement calling for the cancellation of this election, especially in the affected areas, okay? And also at the LGA level, the Anyocha South LGA, they have also given their LGA press statement, also calling for the cancellation of this election, especially in Anyocha South, outrightly, and calling for a rerun. And also, I know the chairmanship candidate has vowed that he will challenge this matter to the highest level, okay? They are also preparing, because we can see also that the state government have also, the DSEC, they have also set up the state election tribunal. So we are preparing to file a case to them. That is what I know we have done so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello, can I speak?
Party so far.
Hello, can I speak?
Go ahead.
Okay, from Adamawa State, the Labour Party, our platform, the party itself in the state is having crisis. We're having 2 chairmen. So the acting chairman, so far, no any response from them. It is just like individually, people are just trying their best to see how they pick up the issue individually. What the Labour Party did is that they only call us for a press release to come and to go out and tell the public that we are dissatisfied with the election, but nothing like any legal process. It is just that everybody is on his own. because we have two factions. Aside from the state coordinator of COPDEM, Prince Pascal, the party itself is not helping us in any way. So far, it is just everybody is just left on his own, fight for himself. This is what is happening in Adamawa State. Thank you.
Yeah, good day. I would like to speak on this platform in regards to the election. I am the candidate.
Ferdinand. Hello? Hello, can you talk? Prince Ferdinand, please confirm that it's Prince Ferdinand. Okay, while we are waiting for him to come up, I know Honorable Abel is here too. Honorable Abel, will you want to speak? Honorable Abel Luca, the councillorship candidate for Mazi Ward. Will you want to speak? Okay, while we are waiting for them to come up, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are in local government elections in Nigeria. This should not be the case because local government elections is the most critical elections to us as a people. Why so? Because the representative at that level are people that are known to the community. So if the people can say, this is who we want to represent us, and of course, that will be because they have justification for that, integrity-wise, capacity-wise, and if we have them take off at that level, of course, that means such category of people too can also speak for their people in further selection of who govern them, both at the local government and up to the state and up to the national. So local government election is an election that we should begin to take very critically in this country. And now the question will be, what should be the way forward? Because from the analysis and reports that we have heard from Adamawa and Delta State now, there's almost no difference. Now, what these politicians do, because they know that the people have the power and they could vote somewhere along the line, they tend to assure them from the beginning that no, it's not going to be business as usual. It's going to be peaceful, it's going to be transparent, it's going to be very good. So that now makes the mind of the people very relaxed and not prepared for a combat during the elections. So, but at the end of the day, these politicians don't keep their word and they seem to take people unaware when they execute these elections. So, what do we do? Where do we take it from here? The floor is actually open. It's a town hall discussion. We want opinions on this so that we can begin to know what to do.
Can I speak? Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jasubu from Adamawa State, but right now I am working in Asaba, Delta State. Honestly, election these days is something else, but parties, they can do a lot of things to correct all of these errors. I have participated in election and election campaign with political analysis and plan since 2007 till now. I was a member of PDP when I was in Kaduna. I founded PDP Youth Initiative, which led to the campaign of present senator of Kaduna State Central. But the way politics and parties are going about politics, most especially in South here, is very poor, because I have been in Delta since last year, but to my greatest surprise, I only know that election is going to be held on Saturday. And there was no party campaign, no awareness, nothing. Sanitization of politics or party election or general election does not held a week or month before election. We are thinking that politicians are using us, but at the end of the day, for me, despite the effort, we need to put more effort and also be able to show to these people that this politics, it is our right. Now, if they did not distribute as sensitive materials because they see that people are relaxed, because political parties, most especially Labour Party, did not prepare people for the election. Back then, when I was in Adamawa State, when politics is being done, you see that candidates, they are printing out their posters, printing facing cap, t-shirt. That is part of campaign, but it's different here. It's very poor here. People are just living on their own. If you see somebody want to go and vote, it's just that because they know that there is election, not because they are interested in the election. So the candidate and the party need to first of all give people the interest. Because during the election, there was no massive turnout. I am in Delta, and I did not even know the election is going to be held. So since this is a town hall meeting, I believe Labour Party in Delta State need to re-strategize on sanitizing people, on first of all, party awareness. There are things that will make you win election, whether the government wants or not, is when people are behind you. And there are things, there are way that you're going to make people is by you trying to popularize your party. And one of the way of making your party popular is by printing your campaign materials and also getting. I've given analysis when I was doing politics in Kaduna. I've given analysis for several big politicians. If you print 200 facing cap and 2 t-shirts you share in a household, that means you are having like more than 600 families that are coming out to vote. And people that do vote, and men does not vote, there are women and youth that vote. So you need to invest in that area. So if we want Labour Party to win either presidential, governor, local government, there must be a table. You need to sit on a round table to start classing how to make the party, first of all, popular and acceptable to people. People are just coming out for election's sake, not because they're interested or not because the party have given that interest. So we need to go back to the drawing board and start working it very well. Once again, I am Jasubu Daniel, Happy Bomb Production Manager.
Sensitization is very key. But we have this trade off after all of that sensitization and awareness. The government in place come to hijack it because they come to deceive us and say, okay, the election is going to be good, and so you guys don't worry, it won't be business as usual. But at the end of the day, we see a different ball game. It's okay. We have heard you, Comrade Moses. Please unmute your mic and let us have a contribution.
All right, thank you very much. Please, I want to first of all correct the impression of this last speaker. If you were in Delta State during the last election, the national election, you understand that Labour Party was 100% on ground. We won the election in Delta State, although we were being robbed about our numbers. We had over 1 million votes, but we were being robbed. But in total, we won the election in Delta State. And coming to this local government election, it is obvious. We all knew what the outcome is going to be. So like my advice to most of the candidates before the election, I told them the best way to get this thing done is to get evidence and seek for redress in the court. And I heard the Labour Party state chairman and stakeholders had a brief, and they are about to challenge the election. I want to advise them on the best way forward. If they are challenging that election, they should not be challenging it for a rerun. They should challenge the election for the disqualification of PDP and declare Labour Party the winner. If they have evidence of videos and pictures of, one major thing that caused that election to be flop is this, one very major thing. Because in my ward, there was no candidate apart from the PDP. So I decided before the election, to apply for the GSEC ad hoc staff to conduct the election. We went for the training, and unfortunately, even at the day of the training, we were told, I was told actually, it's not a general talk. I met with the man in charge. I was told that any ward or local government, the politicians there are the ones influencing who to use for the DSEC job. So it was unfortunate, after my training, I couldn't even get my name on the list to work for the DSEC. So they had to select who they wanted to work with, so that they can do their manipulation. So I'm advising, if they are going to court, if anyone going to court, they should try their best and ask for not a rerun, but for disqualification of PDP in that election. That is the best way to win that election. If you are going for a rerun again, I bet you cannot get it. You can see there will still be another round of malpractice and otherwise. So the election, there was low turnout, not because people were not interested, because we already knew in data that this is what is going to happen. And I just pray there's enough evidence to take to court, because the only way they can get it done. Thank you very much.
Would there be any other contribution tonight? Because otherwise, when you go for a contest like this and you are shortchanged, which is very glaring, I don't see why there will be no immediate action as we speak from all the states. Then again, like has been pointed out, the level of publicity, awareness creation, then we on our own should begin to trust them to say, okay, they are going to have a free and fair election. We should always be on our guard. Let the people know that it is their right to determine their leaders. Because all of these shenanigans that is being carried out is more or less to weaken the people, just like has also been confirmed here. Now, a lot of voters apathy. A polling unit where you are supposed to have 700 voters, you have 40 voters coming out. So what are you going to achieve from that? Nothing, because they have weakened the spirit of the people. So we have a responsibility to reawaken the spirits, and educate the people rightly, so that we can all be out on a list. That way, it will be difficult. First, not taking them by their promises, then be on our guards, be out on election days, and be willing to participate in all the elections, and be also willing to defend our votes. I think that way we'll begin to make a change. Will there be any other contribution at this point?
Yes. Play this video.
Please go ahead.
You have seen the video of how they are voting for PDP, right?
Okay, Honorable Anthony, yes. Okay, these are your experiences in Adamawa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I've seen all of this. Evangelist Benok, do you guys have evidences of what happens in Delta State?
Yes. You could remember I've sent you some. I sent some to you, and we have gathered more, which we have. We are going to use them to pursue this matter precisely. Okay. So we have enough evidence to pursue the matter.
But again, you see, the challenges with this local government election is we had an experience too in Edo State where the election went exactly the same way with these two states. And at the end of the day, when the actors wanted to take the matter to court, it was a whole hell of money that the commission was asking for and all of that. They were lucky to have had the candidate for party today sponsor that.
These are AdSec staffs, Tom printing. Security is aside, and AdSec staffs are busy Tom printing. This video you are playing. We also have a video of where a security agent was assigned to be an agent. This local village that they assign him to be an agent. Yes. I think I'll look for the other videos. Like this video now, in this place, they only brought ballot paper for chairmanship and no councillors. Even the chairmanship, they have to print them before bringing it. There's a video that has a good sound. I will drop it now in this video.
I think the people need to have very good awareness of the basis of elections at this level. Well, because this cannot be going on and the people will be standing by looking. Now, governance is everything. Standard of living, amenities, all down to governance. So if these things are not gotten right from the onset, there is no direction for the country. We need to begin to need for them to fully involve and determine how this.
Election box supposed to be empty now. Why would people accept this? That's the number one thing of sanitization, so that everybody will know.
In the case of Adamawa, like sir, if you check the Tony for chairman group, I have dropped 2 videos now. So what is happening is that they have the security and they don't even listen to people. So when you confront them, among the security personnel, they have connection with the security. They'll just put a call. And they'll come and pick you people or send you away. I dropped another video in this same group where you are playing this video now. I dropped 2 videos. And I'll get another one where a local PNG was assigned as Labour Party agent by force, just like that. So if you can see the video I dropped, aside these ones that you are playing, I dropped 2 videos now. The youth are protesting, but nothing good came out of it.
So, like I said, this is a town hall discussion. We need contributions. We need solutions. Where do we go from here?
Sir, my solution. Sir, the solution is that, from my own side, the solution is that let's agitate for the scrapping of state independent electoral elections, SAEC. Even if local government elections should just go back to INEC.
But will INEC be better? Okay.
INEC is far better than SAEC, because INEC have a good accreditation method now with the beavers. At least if they cannot have time and manipulate it everywhere, you can have records from the beavers, accreditation records. But here, no accreditation, nothing. You just ballot on print. So they only use Biro to accredit you. Even if it is not your voter's card, you can vote with anybody's voter's card. If you don't have voter's card, you can still vote. So INEC, SAEC, State Independent Electoral Commission, should be scrapped. We need to call for that. Governors are just using it, because even with the autonomy now, if the governor is to make you chairman, it is still going to be another joint account, because the kickback will still go back to him. So the governors will always control local government election, and even with the autonomy, if he have people that are answerable to him, then he will still be in control of the local government cash. That's the autonomy is useless without the election being taken away from the governors. I will support the agitation of ending SAEC, even though some 2 days ago, a bill was passed for independent electoral commission for local government elections. So a bill was passed. So I pray that it yields results. But true, sir, we need to scrap State Independent Electoral Commission, SAEC. Thank you. That's my suggestion.
Okay. Can I also make my submission here? Hello?
Yes, Evangelist Bernard, go ahead.
Okay. Like my Adamawa counterpart have said, or colleague, I also want to support that. It's a very good idea that we have also mooted, that the local government elections should be made independent of the state control and organization. Why? Because if you don't separate it, there is nowhere, like I had somebody saying before, the elections, the parties are not prepared. No, maybe you might not have known, you might be in Asaba, you might not have known how the interiors, most places they are prepared for the election. Let me be sincere with you. This election was seriously prepared by especially most of the LGAs in Delta North. And that is in my place after Anyocha North, you have Anyocha South. They have fielded the highest candidate in this election, because we have discovered, we know that our people are no longer dancing to their tune or listening to PDP again. They have lost ground. They have lost hope in these areas, especially in Anyocha South and in Anyocha North. If they see, I bet you, if they sit down today and contest free and fair election, PDP will lose woefully. I don't have anything to hold about that. So we did our campaigns. We did at the level we have. You know, campaign these days, basically in Nigeria, people think until you come to the street and start shouting and blah, blah, blah. No. We did what is called mosquito campaign. We work in the wards, in the units, and they bought our ideas because they are fed up of the bad government of PDP. For the past 20-something years, PDP in Delta State has nothing to show compared to the enormous money funds they are collecting from the federal location. In as much as the LGAs, nothing practically to show. Okay, so when people are tired, this election would have been an opportunity to show the popularity of PDP at the local levels, at the grassroots in Delta State. But they know quite well that they have lost it. hence decided to manipulate the election, to continue to do it the way they know how to do it, to select and appoint people into the offices of the LGA because of, like my colleague have just said, because of the funds they are manipulating. So please, I support the call, and I am praying seriously that that bill at the House for independent electoral commission for LGAs will scale through. If that is the only thing this present government will give to Nigeria, I will give them kudos. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Evangelist Benock. So what we are agreeing and here now is we want total local government autonomy. Perhaps that could help determining good governance at the grassroots. Let's pray and hope that this bill that has been pushed will sail through and we'll be able to achieve that. I want to also ask the national chairman of COPDEM to mute his mic and make his contribution. I can see his hands up. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, sir Agbonifo. And I'd also like to appreciate the strong contributions of our candidates, the Delta State representative and the Adamawa State representatives. By way of solution, I would probably suggest that when we go out to contest, knowing that there is that power of incumbency if the person is corrupt and not willing to play by the rules, as much as the process is not free and fair, that is not democratic. So it will be good for us to come out and wait for the elections. We don't vote and go back. And if we come out to vote, there should be this sensitization that there is always a possibility, that awareness that there's always a possibility of manipulation. So come out. When we vote, we wait for it. Let us be patient enough to wait for it to be done in our presence. And then secondly, any evidences we have, coming out with your camera is very important, with your phone and record, get evidences so that we expose the shenanigans that are pretending to be elections, democratic elections. That would go a long way when we want to actually speak about it and press our case forward. The forms EC8A, well, I don't know which ones the SEC are using now, but it's good for us to have pictures of those ones from every polling unit. Now, that would only be very possible if we have agents who are aware of that. Because for this kind of thuggery, this kind of political thuggery and disenfranchisement to go on, it means that even the party agents are compromised if they are present. So we need to also check our selection process carefully. I will strongly advise that if I'm going to come out for councillorship, it means I have a backup, I have a followership. And when those people come out, you are free to be an observer, even in your own ward, even in your own polling unit, as long as you don't go roaming around to take this evidence. You ensure that these things are done. If they are not done, record it. If the party agent is compromised, take note of it. So we begin to see who is doing what. Thirdly, all the people who are perpetuating this, most of them are from within, because the party agents will be within the community. The SEC agents may come from the state independent independent electoral commission may come from the state, but there are people that are around us. So let us begin to know that when we have such people, we take up the matter, but have sensitization around our people to know that when you sell our mandate, whatever problems we find ourselves in terms of lack of development, you are responsible personally. because you compromised our elections. There was also a view that the local government elections should be independent, not under any political party, which I think may make sense, although those in power may still handpick a few of their own and still commit the same crimes. One other way forward is if the State Independent Electoral Commission is composed of representatives of the parties, of the various political parties, at least one from each of the parties. Let them sit down and constitute. Let them be in the know, instead of it to go under the state governor or to constitute and decide whatever he wants to do. So those are my thoughts. But really, the autonomy given to local government will become a sham if this is the way that we are going about it. So that's just my take for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Very educative. Thank you for the insight and the recommendations. I'll also allow Mr. Martins Egbe to make his contributions while we begin to wind down this program.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I've been listening to the whole narrative and discussion so far. And Mr. Bonifo, you asked a question. But I don't think anybody really gave, to my own opinion, a reasonable answer to that question. What are the other two political parties doing about this fraudulent election? Can somebody please throw some light into it? Probably when I'm done. But this is my own strategy. I've been trying to see how COPDEM itself can work with these political parties independently to make things work the right way. Because I felt maybe my work might not work because Nigeria is a jungle. If COPDEM had gotten security personnel involved, gotten their own polling monitors with cameras to monitor the election, starting from the headquarters of the State Electoral Commission, following their own ballot from that location all the way to their polling units. Probably it will work, probably it might not work. But this is my own solution. This is what I'm thinking going forward. If COPDEM state chairman will work with the local chairman, local government chairman, and see if they can mandate the local government chairman to form a small committee, starting with and then, get a feel of the community and how get a 3 or 4 man committee, you give a notice, go see each and every traditional ruler in your community and get a feel of it. Have the COPDEM television or DDM cover that visit. After that visit, you tell them what the plan is, how the election is messed up, and these are the things you think can be done to straighten the electoral process in Nigeria or in your own local government. Then you go pay after that, you get some people from all the local governments under COPDEM to go to the state governor and tell them the observation and what they plan to do to see if they can be able to put together a free and fair election. All this is just to be able to check the temperament of all these people to see if really Nigeria is ready for a change or not. And have a plan when you're going, that we want, like Prince Rampan said, the 3 political parties to work together, to have agents to monitor the movement of the ballot papers from the headquarters all the way to the polling units, providing the agents. Also, apart from that, provide the security that will guide, your own security that will guide a ballot box. so it doesn't end up in somebody's house like it did in Onuchugo, my village, where, and this is a very reputable, I'm sorry to say, I think I mentioned her name. Her name is Josephine Kachiku, the stepmother of Ibe Kachiku, who was the Minister of Petroleum. Highly educated family. But you know, when it comes to politics in Nigeria, everybody is dirty. The election was held in her house. The materials were moved to her house. There's a video evidence of that. When they found out somebody was videoing the process, they took the guy's phone, deleted everything. Unfortunately, they didn't know that there's something called trash, according to them, in their phone. So the guy got home, went back to trash and revamped his, brought out all the videos and distributed it to all over the place. Is it going to make any difference? I don't think so, because the judiciary has been compromised. But at least, you know, let's give it a try, see if it works. You know, but the more and more I think about that country called Nigeria, the more and more I'm getting more and more disillusioned that there is no hope for that country. I hope there is, I hope so, but I'm not seeing it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Like you have rightly said, COPDEM can actually come into this and form some allegiance and partnership in carrying out some of these activities. What we have now, sir, is really a hasty one on this part of most states. The reason is this, because of the judgment that has been given in favor of the autonomy of local government, partial autonomy of local government. I think part of the clause is that if you do not have an elected local government, you might not get subvention from the federal government. So because of that, all the states now are in a hurry to put elected officers in place in the local government. And we might not be able to catch up with them with the way they are going now. For instance, I just heard this evening that Ebonyi State had local government elections today. It was not in the news, never knew. So all the states are in a hurry now to put elected officers in place so that this money can begin to come to them. But what we can do, however, is while we are praying that the full autonomy be granted, where the conduct of the election will be taken away from the governors, we also begin to plan now on how we can get really involved. I think it's part of our plans to begin to interact with this local rulers and chiefs in the different communities, so that we'll begin to educate them on what is expected of the elected officers and the overall benefits of good governance beyond what they are seeing now. All of that is in the pipeline. So before we wind down, we have already gone beyond time though. Will there be any contributions? Then on what parties are doing, I think the feedback we got was that Delta State is trying to put evidences together to go to court, and Adamawa State is doing nothing, except if there's any other thing they want to add to that. But that was what I got from their responses.
Okay, please, can I say something here before we close? We have, I've heard what most of our speakers, especially the national chairman and our board member, Mr. Martin Ebwe, they have contributed. They are all nice, good contributions. But there's something I want to say here. You know, Nigeria has proved itself, most of the politicians, okay, that there is nothing you can do for them to change. So basically, when we come to these election issues, why most of us are supporting an independent organ to be in charge of the local government election conduct is because of the influence of the political party in power. Because if you say you want to go to traditional rulers or whoever you want to go to, they are still under the pay slip of the party in power. Okay? So, but if we say now we have an independent national body that is in charge, like INEC, for local government elections with more current technologies like INEC had or have. The best thing, I don't think most of this thing happening will happen, where there will be no outright election and you go and declare results and you falsify result sheets, falsify numbers, and just put anything you want to do because you have already written the result of the result. So I want to say here, like what the chairman said, we have done most of these things. I personally took up the training of Labour Party agents in Anyocha and Oshimili constituency, constituting 4 LGAs. Okay, and we trained them. We had all things, and that is why you see that most of the video coverage recordings you see flying all about is because of what we trained them, what we told them, because we know the election we are going into. And it's unfortunate that they didn't allow this election to hold for people to cast their vote. That is where the problem lies. They decided to hide most of these sensitive materials, not to bring them out, so that the election will not hold. So please, I totally support this move that outright independent organization or organ should be conducting local government elections in Nigeria with the modern technologies that will now reduce or curtail the influence of the party that is ruling in the state. Because that is just what we're having. There's nothing like that, because they will tell you that it's a state election. The state governor decides what happens, appoints who he wants to appoint, and which is nonsense to me. It's a trash of a democracy. It's a slap on democracy in Nigeria. So we are really pleading, if this present government of Tinubu, the way they are going with it, I believe they will take it down to the independent organ conducting the election after they have won the case of the financial autonomy. We need election autonomy also for all the LGAs in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Prince Park Jr., the answer is still up.
Thank you very much, sir. I think I agree with Evangelist Bennock on the position of traditional rulers here, because they are under local government, and local government pays their small salaries. Even the first-class rulers, they are under the state government. Let's take example of what is happening in Kano and Sokoto. And other parts of Nigeria, they are not talking about it. Our traditional rulers have been relegated. Their powers, they will be there for life, but they don't have the respect they used to have. Their authority has been stripped off. And well, some of them are to blame because of their conduct as well. But any day, a governor can wake up and suspend, dethrone any traditional ruler he wants. So their impact here would not be very much felt. Let us also please look at the implication of a faulty local government election democratic process. The first is that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. If I have to bribe the agents or put people and instruct them to rig so that you'll be in power, you will submit to me. So that autonomy has been turned to trash. What will happen is when they receive their subvention, 100 million or 150 million, who will they contact? Like Sani Shehu said, Senator Kaduna said, it's the normal thing. Or guy, I have received a lot. What do I do? Because the caretaker committee chairman of almost most of the states, they are appointed there to safeguard the interests of the governor who appointed them. And they share the loot. They don't even get what they have before the autonomy. Now with the autonomy, it goes to them. So these crooked governors would want to have stooges there because they know they didn't win any election. So they will have to submit their own subvention back to the state to determine what will happen, and development will not go to the grassroots. Who is going to suffer if development does not get to the grassroots? Security, agriculture, education, our schools, our hospitals. It is we in the grassroots that will suffer. So can you imagine the blatant bravery of these corrupt state electoral officers in Adamawa in the video we saw? They were being recorded, they didn't care. They were still printing, cutting a wad of papers and giving another person to go and stock in so they will count. They don't care about it now. We who are doing the vote must take the stand. As long as if there is no election in that ward, there should not be anybody to be declared as a chairman or councillor. Once there is no chairman or councillor, no subvention. So I'm saying this to get to the point that we cannot keep quiet. If you keep quiet to your tent, or Israel, you have no authority to talk thereafter. Go to court, even if it means you need to get collection, and challenge it and cause that election to be cancelled or to be turned in favor of the other party who actually contested. If it cannot be given to the right person, let it be cancelled since they have already stopped boxes. No allocation will come to that local government. If we don't follow up bumper to bumper our responsibility, our rights, our funding, that 150 million or thereabout that's coming to the local government is our money for our development. So we cannot fold our hands and say, hey, then don't cheat us again. What did you do when they cheated you? So we should come up, put our hands together. Civil society organizations that say they are democratic, we didn't have a feel of them in this election. Are they only democratic for national elections and state elections? While the grassroots, those who are closest to the people, are the local governments that will actually initiate and carry out projects that will affect our lives directly. So let these civil society organizations come out, let them observe such elections as well, and let them write petitions if the elections are not free, fair, and credible, so that they will be cancelled. So Adamawa, go to court, speak out, use every mass media platforms, speak out, go to Arise, speak out, let them know that it was not free and fair, and challenge it. For those of us who are yet to have our elections in our other states, this should be a learning curve. What do you do before that time? While they are cheating Adamawa, Delta, and you also just watch and admire it, they will come to you. So everybody who is a Nigerian has the opportunity to say, the election in Adamawa was not free and fair, and we demand that it be retaken and let the world know that it has been done properly, or else no election, no subvention. So that is my take. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, a good way to go. No election, no subvention. Let all of us be inside. I think it's good like that, so that we can be getting things right. Thank you very, very much, sir. So we have come to the end of today's section, today's Town Hall discussion series. We want to specially thank all our guests tonight, Honorable Anthony Zera, Evangelist Benjamin Wanji, aka Evangelist Benock, Cobdem State Chairman for Delta State. We thank you greatly. I want to thank everybody that has been with us throughout the discussion series. We'll be here again, same time next week, 8 p.m. to discuss another very topical political issue. Until then, I say thank you and have a good night, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.